ini kamu kerja cacar dia mencari cina-cina. Oh kerja cakana hai.
Good evening, welcome in our Intuition classes, block number 4, Notions of Being. Categorical notions of being and categories.
ठीक है ठीक
1.1 Introduction. The term category is from the Greek root categoria, meaning an accusations or change in a court of law. Aristotle 384-322 BCE transferred the word from legal use to a logical use in attributing one thing to another as done in predicating a quality of a subject, just as the courts of law render that judgments on accusations or changes or charges brought before them, so does the human mind make its judgments on ideas that appear before it by way of affirmations or denial. Hence, the primary meaning of category is one of the supreme classes of predicates found in your judgments and propositions. The categories in this sense belong to the science of logic. Given Immanuel Kant 1724-1804 recognized this fact. For Kant, categories are transcendental conditions of knowledge. Transcendental means a condition which must be in the mind for cognitions to take place. The first of these transcendental conditions are the priori forms of sensibility, space and time. They are in the sense making possible the cognitions of sense experience. Kant's categories are such transcendental conditions for intellectual knowledge. Cognitions arise from the union of these forms with the phenomena of sense experience. These categories or forms are part of the furniture of the mind. They are applied to the phenomena according to the law of the mind's nature, so as to give us the knowledge we have. Such knowledge is not a representation of things, but a representation of the mind's own subjective states, and thus it does not reveal anything of the noumena, things in themselves. Kant list 12 categories that correspond to 12 classes of judgments. They are pure mental constructs entirely independent of experience and pre-existing as modes of thought and attendant to all knowledge derived from experience. Their purpose is to unify the modify of sense experience and to impose on it the forms of necessity and universality. They do not tell us anything of the reality independent of the mind. Hence they are different from the Aristotelian categories, which are classes or direct universal ideas and modes of real being. 1.2 Early Western perspective. Aristotle. For Aristotle, there are 10 categories: substance, quality, relations, actions, passions, place, time, habit, and position. Substance. Aristotle calls the first category ousia, which literally means beingness or substance. Sometimes this term has the formal abstract meaning of the essence of the subsistent being. It is a reality bodily or spiritual.
I
Suited to exist as itself. The name substance is from the Latin substance or standing under. For a creatorial substance is capable of standing under, the accidents of which it is the subject. It support accidents in being. Quantity is being as dispersed in parts outside parts. It is an accident proper of bodies. It is the extensions of bodies in space. To say a thing is big or little is not to speak of quantity, for quantity deals with measurements. Big and little indicate qualities. If we say a human is 6 feet tall, we indicate quantity. So also we indicate quantity when we say 40 rupees, or a mine by 12 rug, or a kilometer walk, etc. Quality is being as determined in itself. It is an accident which determines the sort of kind of a thing. Nearly all adjectives indicate qualities. Quality is a very broad and inclusive category. This is indicates dispositions and habits such as prudence, industriousness, strength, weakness, gullibility, abilities or capacities such as capability, keen-sightedness, quick-mindedness, passive characteristics such as color, the state of a being, esteemed age, temperature. Age and temperature can also be quantities when expressed in definite numbers, that is, they can be quantities by analogy. Relations is being as referring to other things. It is an accident which determines a thing in its standing to or towards another. It is unique among accidents because it involves two realities and does not really exist in either but between them. Examples of relations are equality, similarity, unlikeness, partiality, loyalty, servitude, etc. Action is being as activating its reference to others. It is an accident which determines a reality as doing something as producing an effect. For example, talking, writing, spending, striking, painting, etc. Passion is being as undergoing the actions of others is being acted upon. It is an accident which determines a reality as undergoing something as affected by some action. Example, being talked to, being talked as actions is expressed by the active voice of words. Passion is expressed by the passive voice. Place 7. Place is being as finding itself somewhere. It is an accident which determines a reality as related to its positions with reference to other realities. It is an accident which strictly speaking is proper only to bodily substances. Place finds expression in such terms as in the rooms at the corner of the main street in this country, on the surface of the earth, another chair. Time is being as moment. It is an accident which determines a reality in its positions with reference to before and after. Example, at midday this evening, at 5 o'clock next Tuesday in 1492, before midnight, after super, etc. 9. Habitus or positions is being as the state or conditions with reference to external things. It is an accident proper to bodies which determines its subject with several reference to its said clothing or external acute treatments or adjuncts. Example, well-dressed, unmuted, moss-covered, ivy, hug, beard, saddled. In one aspect, habit is also quality. Mental and
Bye.
moral habits are always merely qualities. Habit as a predicament or category means some kind of bodily dress or bodily adornment or bodily swathington. Position or posture is being as referring to attitude, the dispositions of the parts of being. It is an accident to bodies which determines its subject with reference to the arrangement or dispositions of its own part. For instance, spiral, sitting, standing, laying down, huddled up, erect, prone, cross-kneed, outstretched, etc. 1.3 Early Indian Perspective Vaisesika School. The Indian term for category is padartha, which means the object or meaning artha of a word. Padartha is an object which can be thought artha and named pada. Prasastha pada defines padartha as a knowable thing, inaya, or as a validly cognizable thing, pramaya, or as a nameable thing, Avideya, the approach of the Nyaya Vaisasika to the universe is purely a realistic one in which one regards all the objects of the universe as real things. Such objects are recognized either through the external sense organs or through the internal ones. In the former case, the external objects of cognitions are the specific attributes of the five Mahabhutas: Rupa, Sparsha, Gandha, Rasa and Sabda, which are cognized through their respective sense organs. In the latter case, the objects of the sensible wood are cognized through the internal organs, and hence are subtler elements like paramanus, tanmatras, etc. Canada divides the whole reality into six categories. The seventh, non-existence, was added afterwards. Of these seven categories, the first three, that is substance, quality, and actions, possess a real objective existence. The next three, that is generality, particularity, and inherence, are products of intellectual discriminations. These six categories have existence, nameability, and knowability, which are not logical notions as that of Gautama's classifications but ontological entities. The seventh category, that is non-existence, is also an ontological category, which is not mere negations of substance in thought but real non-existence of a substance. When a jar is destroyed, there is a real negations of the jar. It is to be noted that neither Kannada or Prastapada speak of non-existence as a separate category, but Sridhara, Udayana, Vyomasiva, and Sivaditya at the seventh category of non-existence. Substance, Dravya. Substance is the substratum where actions and qualities inhere, and which is the coexistent material cause of the composite things produced from it. It is the substratum of all things. A substance is destroyed only by the destructions of its substratum. It is not destroyed either by its own effect or by its own cause. It means that the relations of the destroyer and the destroyer does not exist between two substances which have entered into the relations of effect and cause. Thus the sutra state substance is not annihilated either by effect or by cause. Verse 1 I-12 for Prasastapada, substance is the main category and all categories depend on it for their existence, so it is first named. Being the substratum of qualities, it is different from qualities. In the case of a white cloth, the white color is experienced as a property raised in the substratum cloth. Therefore, white color and cloth are different in their essence. The word property does not mean only qualities but is used in a wider sense and includes all the five kinds of properties, that is substance, quality, movement, the universal, and vishesha, which subsist in the substrate by inherent relations. A substance does not possess qualities as the first as the first moment of its production if the qualities arise simultaneously with substances. There can't be any distinction between them, and if the qualities do not arise, then substances would be free from qualities. Then the definitions of substance as that which possesses qualities would be violated. To meet this difficulty, it is said that substance is the substrate of qualities either in the relations of intimate union samabhaya sambandha or antecedent negations praga praga
ऑफिस
qualities.
ऑफिस वाला अच्छा तो मेरे पेट से लग गया
In here a substance from the second moment of its production until it destruction of substance. Substance is also the material cause of its composite product. For example, threads are the material cause of cloth made by their combinations. Only substance is capable of producing an effect out of its stuff. These substances are nine: earth, fire, air, water, ether, time, space, spirit, and mind. The physical philosophy is
ह्यूमन नेचर
pluralistic and realistic but not materialistic, since it admits spiritual substances. Out of the nine substances, the first five, that is earth, water, fire, air, and ether, are called physical, since it is also the material cause of its composite product. For example, threads are the material cause of cloth made by their combinations. Only substance is capable for producing an effect out of his stuff. These substances are nine: earth, fire, air, water, ether, space, spirit, and mind. The physical philosophy is a pluralistic and realistic but no materialistic, since it admits spiritual called physical, since each of them possesses a unique quality sensed by the external sense. Smell is the unique property of earth, and other substances have spent only if mixed with some quantity of earth. This is smell in muddy water but not in pure water. In the same way, taste is the property of water, color that of light, touch of air, and sound of ether. Other substances of earth, fire, water, and air are both eternal and non-eternal. The atoms of earth, water, fire, and air are eternal, as an atom is indivisible and can neither be produced nor destroyed. All others are non-eternal, as they are produced by the combinations of atoms and are subject to destructions. There are four kinds of atoms: earth, water, fire, and air, each having its own special quality. Ether is the fifth physical substance, the substratum of the quality of sound. The sound is perceived but not ether. It is one and eternal, as it is indivisible and does not depend on any other substances for its experience. It is all preventing, as it has an ultimate dimensions whose effect is pre-received everywhere. Time and space are also eternal, preventing impressible, finite, partless, and indivisible. Time causes our cognitions of past, present, and future, and of younger and older. Space deep causes our cognitions are east and west, waste here and there, near and far. There are innumerable souls that are independent, individual, eternal, and all preventing spiritual substance, the substratum of the quality of consciousness. The souls are divided into two, the individual and the supreme. The supreme is only one, the creator of the world. The individual is internally received or possessing some quality. When one says I am happy, I am sorry, and so on, the individual is not one but many being different in different bodies. Mind is an eternal sense which is atomic, many eternal and impressible. Each self has a mind through which the self comes into contact with the objects. Its existence is inferred from the fact that the self must perceive internal states through an internal sense, just as it perceives external external objects through external senses. Moreover, the mind is selective in the perceptions of external objects. We receive color, touch, taste, smell, and sound subsequently. Even through all the external senses may be in contact with objects simultaneously, coming into contact with one sense only at a time. Hence, one can distinguish between 2 points of view from which the concept of Dravya can be studied: first as a cosmological and nature philosophical concept, and second as a functional categorical concept. From the cosmological and nature philosophical concept of view, Dravya is the cause of its qualities. From the functional categorical concept of view, it is the subject of qualities and other determinations such as relations and universals. Quality can't exist independently. It inheres in a substance which its substrate. Inhering is in substance a non-processing attribute, not an independent cause. In conjunctions and disconjunctions, such as a mark of attribute vs I-16 is the non-material cause of things, as it determines only their nature and character but not their existence. All qualities must belong to substances without qualities themselves having qualities. Canada list 7th qualities: color, rupa, taste, rasa, smells, gandha, touch, sparsha, number, समाख्या, size, परिमाण, individuality, पृथकता, posterity, अपार्थता, knowledge, बुद्धि, pleasure, सुख, desire, इच्छा, aversion, दर्श, effort, प्रण्यर्थ, पृष्ठपोध. Add 7 more: heaviness, gurutva, fluidity, davartva, viscidity, sneha, merit, dharma, demerit, adharma, sounds, sabda, and faculty, samsara, some others, and lightness, lagutva, softness, mrudutva, and hardness, kathinatva, to the 24 qualities. But these are not separate qualities, for lightness is only the absence of heaviness, and softness and hardness represent different degrees of conjunctions. The qualities that belong to eternal substances are called eternal, and to the transit one, non-eternal. Those that subsist into one more substances. Substances are known as general will. Those in only one substances are called specific. Number, magnitude, distinctness, conjunction, disjunction, remoteness, nearness, derived fluidity, gravity, and velocity are general qualities. Will, color, taste, smell, touch, viscidity, natural fluidity, knowledge, pleasure, pain, desire, hate, effort, merit, demerit, faculty, and sound as spatial qualities which help to distinguish subject which process them from other qualities are of three kinds, those received through an external sense organ, color, taste, smell, touch and sound, and b those received through two external sense organs, eyes and the skin, wise, number, magnitude, distinctness, conjunction, remoteness, nearness, fluidity and viscidity, and those received through any sense organ, gravity, merit, demerit, and faculty, the qualities of the self, cognition, pleasure, pain, desire, hate, and volition received through the mind, manas. Color perceived by the visual organ only resides in earth, water, and light. Through in a latter to the color is permanent is varies in earth. Words when heat is applied, there are seven colors: white, blue, yellow, and red, green, brown, and variegated citra. Taste rasa perceived by earth and water is the quality of a things apprehended only by the gustatory organ. The taste are of six kinds: sweet, sour, salty, pungent, astringent, kasaya, and bitter. Other gandha residing in earth is the quality apprehended only by the olfactory organ. It is of two kinds, fragrant and the non-fragrant, that is bad smell, touch, spurse. Residing in earth, water, light, and air is the special quality apprehended by the tactile organ. Touch is of three kinds: not cold, neither cold nor hot. Water is cold, light is hot, and earth and air are neither cold nor hot. Sound Shabda is a quality perceived by the auditory organ. Number Samakya is a generic quality samanya guna of things. Of these numbers, unity ekatva is eternal in eternal substances, and transit in transit substances. Magnitude parimana, the specific cause of measurement, is of four kinds: minuteness, largeness, length, and shortness. Either has extreme largeness paramanatva, and extreme minuteness parimana dalaya. The dimensions of non-eternal substances is determined by the number, magnitude, and arrangement of the parts. That are minute, while the others are of limited magnitude in individuality. Parthakata is the principles of distinction. It is eternal in eternal substances and transit substances. Conjunction and conjunctions refer respectively to the union of separate things and separations of things which are in union. Remoteness and proximity are the principles of the notions of remote and near, each of them of two kinds: spatial and temporal. Knowledge, pleasure, pain, desire, aversions, and effort belong to the soul. Knowledge, both valid and invalid in the definitions of object of quality of the self. Valid knowledge is of four kinds: perception, inference, comparison, and testimony. Invalid knowledge is of four kinds: doubt, illusion, indefinite knowledge, or dream. Pleasure is produced by the interactions of the sense organs with desirable objects. Pain is a feeling of self-absorbment. Desire is a craving for the attainment of an unattained object. Aversion is the feeling of rage which arises from pain and recollections of painful objects. It causes thought, remembrance, merit, and demerit. Effort enables one to the attainment the desirable and to the updoing of the undesirable. Gravity Gurutva causes things to fall to the ground. Fluidity Davartha causes flowing and which exists in earth, water and light. Viscidity Sneha is the quality of water. It is the cause of constant smoothness, etc. Merit Dharma and Dharmit Adharma respectively cause happiness and misery. Action Karma action is that which inheres in one substance devoid of qualities and is direct and the immediate cause of conjunction and disconjunction residing in one substance only not processing attribute an independent cause of conjunctions and disconjunction. Such is the mark of action. BS 117. It resides in a substance, but it is its temporary future, whereas a quality is its permanent future. Conjunction resides in many substances which are conjuncted with each other, but action is present only in one substance. For example, conjunction of a book with a table resides for example, the absence of a vehicle is the immediate cause of this disconnection from one part of the ground and into five Utkarshpana, Apakshapana, Akunkana, Prasara percent and Gamanon. Utkarshpana is the cause of the contact of a body with some higher reason due to weight, effort, and conjunctions. Example: throwing a ball upward. Apakshana is the cause of the contact of a body with some lower reason. Example: throwing downward. Akunchana is that by which the upper parts of an extended substances are disjoined with those parts with which they were connected before and are combined with the parts at the bottom so that the substance becomes curved. Example: pinching of the fingers. Prasana is that by which the super parts of substance become disjoined with the parts of the same substance at the bottom and they become connected with the upper parts with which they were disconnected before so that the object becomes straight. Example: opening one's clenched hand and gamma which embraces different kinds of actions as rotary actions, grammar, or going up of flames, flowing down of liquids, falling down due to wet, etc., is any type of action not covered by the varieties mentioned above. Generality, samanya generality refers to an abstract characteristic that is singular and eternal, and that pervades many and form a commonly observed mark. There is no inference of anything in particular. V.S. Third I. 7. For instance, individual jars are designated by a common name jar. Hence, every object has both general and particular aspects. The same property which is general in relations to one class may be particular in relations to another. Universals is the real entity which corresponds to a general idea or class essence. That is the class essence or general idea of human in all individual humans. It is one thought inherent in many individuals. It is eternal through the individuals in whom it inherits are subject to birth and death. We know individual humans as belonging to the same class because there is the same class essence of human in all humans. The generality subsists in substances, qualities, and actions. Rareness of the jar subsists in individuals. Jar which are substances. Colorness of color subsists in individuals. Colors which are qualities, and the class essence of movement subsists in all individual movements which are actions. However, the universal does not subsist in other universal. In order to avoid infinite regress, all particular cows have the same essential qualities as the same class essence subsist in them. All the universal exist in each individual wholly and never partially become. It has no parts. When a particular individual comes into existence, it is already related to the universal. The universals are distinguished in three classes, that is the highest, the lowest, and the intermediate. Beingness is the highest universal as it includes all, and it is not included in anything. The lowest kind of generality has the most limited reference, such as Americanness, Indianness, Portness, and chairness present in all Americans, Indians, post and chairs. The genius of substance in intermediate between the highest and the lowest, since it is wider in relation to substances like earth, water, etc., and narrower in relation to the universal beingness which belongs to substance, quality, and actions. A distinction is also made between
एक हफ्ता कमाई है मेरा किचु ना नहीं उतना सारा जितना तो नहीं है रूपाली कि 4 ड्रिंक देकर 15,000 का बिल देने का हाथ में 4 ड्रिंक भी मतलब कॉकटेल दारू भी नहीं ठीक से
Jati and Upadhi. The Jati is inborn, natural, and eternal. The Upadhi is adventitious and transitory.
अलग फोन अपने सुनीस का है आएगा तो उठा कोऑर्डिनेट कर क्लाइंट से बाकी लोग अभी मेरे को सब होटल का ब्रेकफास्ट चाहिए होता है सुबह 6 बजे पहुंच जाती हूँ मैं तो सुबह उठ के चाहे रात को मैं 2 बजे सोई हूँ 5 बजे सोई हूँ मैं सुबह 6 बजे पहुंच जाती हूँ सब खाऊंगी कि थोड़ा और कुछ कभी नहीं बोल सॉसेस नहीं है बॉइलिंग नहीं है मटन में कुछ आइटम नहीं ये जानबूझ के नुक्स नहीं सब लाड़ा मांगता है मेरे को ठीक हो
Every general characteristic is not a jati. Since some persons are blind, we can't speak of a jati of blindness. If it were so, blind humans and blind broads would be grouped under
आज तुम्हारे की 11 बजे तक क्या
hmm,
11 बजे तक
the same class. Humanity distinguishes human from other animals, but blindness does not differentiate blind humans from blind cows. So the classifications of humans as humans is a jati. Jati will their grouping according to blindness is a upadhi. The following are some of the conditions which exclude recording. Only one individual it can have no generality. Tulya Bhatam, portness and pictureness are not two. मैं अभी मैं स्टार्ट करूँगी ये ईयर मेरे को बैक करने का है अकाउंटिंग में कोर्स करना है तो मैं करूँगी अभी जब जून में आएगा ना तो एडमिशन करूँगी ये मेरा पार्ट टाइम हो गया
चलो बाय बाय
बाय मैम
खाली हाथ ही लगा दो चलो
नीचे एक पोस्ट
हाँ इधर वो जित ऑयल लग जाता था मैं इसलिए चलो पी बेटा अब तो खोल दे अब कौन सा तेल लग रहा तेरा अब तो 2 चुटकी वाली लग रही है चल
बाय मैम
बाय बाय फोन पे ध्यान रहा
हाँ
कोऑर्डिनेट करना है फोन पे कुछ नहीं समझा तो शाहरुख को फोन कर
हाँ थैंक यू सर हैव सम वाटर Tulyavatam, portness and pictureness are not two different classes as they are mutually implicative synonyms. Sankara, if there is a cross classifications between two classes, they can't be true universals. 4 kinds of atoms, that is earth, water, fire and air and ether, the physical substances, will the 4 atomic substances and the mind are corporeal substances. Ether is physical but not corporeal, mind is corporeal but not physical. So physicality and corporeality can't be generalities because they involve cross classifications. Anavastha, no generality can subsist in another generality, leading to infinite regress. Rupahani, generality can subsist in particularities, contradicting their nature. For generality is inclusive, whereas particularity is exclusive. So particularity refuses to allow the inherence of generality in it. Asambhada, since there is no relations of inherence between generally and inherence, there can't be generality of inherence. Particularity विशेषा distinguishes a thing from all other things, distinguishing the smaller from the larger. It is smaller, it is larger. Such affirmations in respect of one and the same object arise from the existence of the species or of the particularity and from the non-existence of the species of the particularity versus p. 11. Everything in this world is differentiated from another on account of different attributes, qualities and universals. But two objects, example 2 jars, which have not only the same universal but being quite similar, have the same qualities, are differentiated on account of the differences of their parts. Even two atoms of the same class, say of earth, which have the same universal and the same qualities and which have no parts possesses an ultimate differentiating characteristic called particularity by means of which it is distinguished from all other atoms. What is true of atoms is also true of other eternal substances. Example Aksa, Kala, Dik, Atman and Manas. Canada defines Visesa as the ultimate distinguishing feature of an eternal substances. Prastapada also defines it is the ultimate distinguishing features of eternal substances. There are the causes of the ultimate distinctions of the substrates from one another. They are the final distinctive character of eternal substances. From these definitions, we may say that particularity is an aspect of every object which causes the notions of its differentiations of other objects. It inheres in each of them, which distinguishes it from the other eternal substances. Particularities are thought to be eternal because we can't conceive of any eternal substances remaining and undifferentiated from other at any time. Particularity is thus an independent, self-sufficient principle of differentiation, which is the unique feature of a single individual, and so it is only functions is to differentiate. It is ultimate because it functions even when every other means of differentiation fails. Particularities do not require other particularities to distinguish them from one another, since that would lead to infinite regress. They perform, in fact, doubt functions. Firstly, they distinguish the eternal substance from other eternal substances, and secondly they distinguish themselves from other particularities. Visesa, according to Vaisesika, is a unique type of real which can't be thought under any other category. It is not substance as it is not the substratum of quality. It is not quality or actions, for it does not participate in a universal. It is not a relations, and so can't be identified with inherence. Each particularity inherence only in one eternal substances and is therefore not a universal which is supposed to be related to many dissimilar. Can't save the purpose of Visesa. There is a mutual non-existence of a cloth and a jar in each other, but particularities exist in two eternal substances which have similar qualities and distinguish themselves from each other. So mutual non-existence can serve the purpose of particularities. Therefore, the existence of particular must be inferred to account for the ultimate distinctions of eternal substances. Inherent samabhaya. Inherence plays a very important part in upholding pluralistic realism. That principle, which relates to inseparable entities, is recognized as inherent relations. It is necessary to relate a substance to its quality, actions, generality, and particularity. Canada defines inherence as that combinations which produces in respect of cause and effect. The notions of these not being contained in that or here, that is combinations by virtue of which arises the intuitions in the form of this is here with regard to effect and cause versus method. 26. From these definitions, it seems that the conceptions of samavaya at first originated in connections with the relations of cause and effect, but after Canada, the scope of inherence was extended to the subsistence of qualities, moments of universals, and later on, when a separate category Visesa was formulated, it was also held to be residing in atoms or the other eternal substances. Prastapada understands inherence as the relations which subsist among inseparable things which relate to one another as in container and the content. The two entities necessarily stand in the relations of the container and the content. That which can't exist without the other is always the content, and the other which can exist independently is always the container. Inherence always subsist in inseparable things such as the whole and the parts, quality and substance, actions and substance, generality and the individual and the particularity and eternal substances. The whole inherence in the parts, quality inherits the substance, actions inherits in a substance, generality inherits in an individual, a particularity inheres in an eternal substance. Inherence is one eternal relations. It is one because it has the same distinguishing feature. One inherence can account for all notions, and so it is useless to assume many inherents. Inherence is also eternal, for all positive produces are produced in their material cause by the relations of inherence, and if inherence is produced, it will require another inherence, and so on and infinitum. So in order to avoid infinite regress, inherence is regarded as eternal non-existence above. In consequence of the non-applications of actions and attribute to it, an effect is non-existence prior to its production. VSIXI. Here the Vaisasika Sutra begins the ninth book with a demonstrations of ordinary or popular and extraordinary or hyper popular perceptions produced from proximity of presentation due to the other causes for the author, and the category of non-existence is necessary for a metaphysics of pluralism, which holds that every experience has its counterpart in the external world. When a jar is destroyed, this is the experience of its non-existence. This experience must have its counterpart in the world, that is non-existence of the jar should have an objective reality. Since the non-existence of the jar, it is not unreal. The non-existence of the jar is the reality of a negative kind. If things simply exist without becoming non-existent, then all things would be eternal. Non-existence is mainly divided into two kinds: samansara gavaha and ananyabhava. Samsara gavaha means the absence of something in something else, and ananyabhava means the fact that one being is not another thing. A jar is not a cloth. Here is mutual non-existence of the jar and the cloth. Samsara Gabhava is of three kinds: Prag, Pragabhava, Prad, Pradhabhamasabhava, and Atyantabhava. Pragabhava, prior non-existence, is the non-existence of an effect in its material cause before its production. Example: the non-existence of the cloth in the threads before its production. Thus, prior non-existence is not produced but destroyed. If it is not destroyed, the effect can't be produced. This is the basis of the Astakaryavada. Pradhamasabhava. Posterior non-existence is produced by the destructions of the thing. Example: when a jar is destroyed, it has posterior non-existence. Atyantabhava, absolute non-existence, is the absence of connections between two things in the past, the present, and the future. Color did not exist in the air in the past, does not exist in the present, and will not exist in the future. So there is absolute non-existence of color in the air.